Demon Claw TV, back with another Rusty Dagger adventure of Azag the Slayer. This time we're off to the City of Ice. Here's Azag doing a Jason Momoa impersonation and wearing his best leathers for a night in town. Azag, Allendale and Jill are relaxing in the local Rusty Dagger Tavern discussing their next opportunities. If we don't find a new job soon, we'll need to take up a role with one of the caravans leaving town. Burke is organising the most caravans. I'm not sure I want to be a carter for Burke. I don't trust him. Shh, here he comes. After some drinks, Burke advises that he has not heard back from one of his caravans. It might just be that a hawk ate their carrier pigeon, but I'd like you to check it out. After further drinks, the team agree to go and look for the caravan. Burke provides the details of their planned route, and Azag and his companions set off on the rescue mission. After about a week of travel, the group come to look upon the scene of battle. Overturned and broken wagons were scattered about, bodies littered the roadside. Hey, Azag, looks like we've got a survivor. The party move over and surround the unconscious woman. Azag addressed her wounds and applied a flask of water to her lips. After a few moments, the woman regained consciousness. She tells us her name is Hesperina. Our caravan was attacked by bandits and creatures. Suddenly everybody was running and screaming. Something hit me and I was knocked unconscious. It will be dark soon. Let's search the wagons and we can build a fire to keep warm and cook some food. So the party make a small campfire and after dinner make camp. In the morning, the party spread out to search the attack site for anything useful. Everyone is spread out amongst the rocks when Allendale spots some rough-looking men approaching. Hesperina identifies them as bandits. This gives us an advantage to neutralize the advantage the bandits get from their surprise attack. If we hadn't managed to rescue Hesperina, we would have been at a disadvantage. Allendale is a bit isolated from the rest of the group, looking through some wreckage for discounted items. 100% discount. The bandit leader advances, followed by one of his men. Azag moves up. Allendale moves back behind some wreckage. Hesperina moves into position. The first bandit then moves up and gets the bonus action and takes a swipe at Azag, missing 1 to 12. Azag hits the bandit 14 to 2, which should be a double 6, and then a second attack is parried 8 to 8. That's a max defense roll from the bandit. Azag hits the bandit 7 to 1, and the bandit's desperate counter misses 2 to 8. The bandit leader moves over to attack Azag but misses 8 to 11. Azag finishes off the bandit he has been fighting 7 to 1. The last bandit moves up. Initially, he was chasing after Allendale, but the obstacles mean Azag is now closer. Azag misses the leader 8 to 10, proving the leader is there by merit rather than politics. Azag parries the bandit leader 9 to 9. The bandit moves up, and their first attack is parried 7 to 7. Azag unleashes a flurry of attacks on the bandit leader, hitting 11 to 3, 11 to 10, and 14 to 10. The last being another double 6, which he can't be defended. The bandit leader is now bleeding from several cuts and misses 10 to 12. That is the third 8 in a row the bandit leader has rolled. So, it's really trying. He's now down to 1 health and starting to regret his life choices. Azag misses the bandit leader. That's a double 1 from Azag, 4 to 6. The bandit hits Azag 8 to 6. That's another maximum roll from the D8. The bandits are certainly trying hard. Azag finishes the bandit leader 13 to 7 and then hits the bandit 7 to 5. Now Azag is focusing on the bandit. The bandits next two attacks miss 6 to 8 and 1 to 11. The bandit misses Azag 3 to 12 However, Arzag's return strike misses 4 to 6. That's another double 1. The bandit redoubles his effort. It misses 3 to 10 and 6 to 14. That's a max defense roll from Arzag. Arzag spies an opening and stabs the bandit 6 to 2, but is then parried 6 to 6. The last bandit is down to 1 health. Arzag misses 7 to 8 and then finishes the last bandit with a 10 to 2. Allendale comes out from behind the wrecked wagons to help loot the bodies. We roll a 10 on the treasure chart and find a small healing potion and 5 gold. Right, that was a good warm-up. Now, who's for second breakfast? The others look at him surprised. Slaying always makes me hungry. The party set off after the tracks of the bandits in search of any other survivors, or at least to follow the tracks back to the bandits' base and deal with their threat. While navigating some ancient tombs made from dripping stone blocks, the party encounter some slavering ghouls and a giant spider. Fights on. Allendale moves. Hesperina moves. This allows Arzag to move. The spider scuttles forwards and tries to bite Arzag, missing 4 to 5. The 2 ghouls move up. Arzag hits the spider 9 to 7. He then dodges its dripping fangs 5 to 9. Arzag finishes the spider 12 to 5 and then moves to engage a ghoul. The ghoul misses Arzag 4 to 14. And Arzag rolls a double 6 for defense. Hesperina shoots at a ghoul but misses 3 to 4. Turns out she isn't a great archer. The ghoul moves up and attacks Hesperina, missing 3 to 9. The ghoul hits Hesperina 7 to 2 when she rolls a double 1 for defense. Arzag hits the ghoul 8 to 6. The ghoul misses Arzag with a swipe of its claws 3 to 10. Arzag hits the ghoul 7 to 4 and again dodges its return strike 5 to 9. The ghoul he was fighting got the third action for the creatures. Arzag then hits the ghoul 11 to 5. However, ghouls have a special rule of regeneration. So on a d4 roll of 4, a ghoul gets back up with 1 hit point. So this one just won't stay dead. Arzag hits the ghoul 7 to 3. It then gets back up a second time. Are you sure we can actually kill this thing? Arzag parries the ghoul. The ghoul's next attack 8 to 8, and the ghoul's parries Arzag 6 to 6. The other ghoul misses Hesperina 3 to 8. Yeah, she's using her shield now. Arzag finally lands a killing strike 11 to 15, and the ghoul fails to get up again due to lack of a head. Hesperina parries the attack of the last ghoul 5 to 5. Arzag now engages the last ghoul and hits 11, fails to regenerate. We recover 5 gold and gain 1 skill point. That spider was fairly scary. It, in addition to doing a damage, it poisons you, which would make you -1 movement. The party continues their investigations following the tracks of these ghouls, bandits and spiders and arrive at a large structure built of crumbling stone. This speaks to its great age. Within the structure stands a large dome built of greenish stone. Unlike the rest of the complex, this dome seems to be untouched by the ravages of time. The party make their way towards this edifice. While travelling through the outbuildings, cracks appear in the ceiling and bits of stone fall on the group. Arzag's steel cat reflexes see him jump clear in time with an 8. Hesperina rolls a 3 and while getting out of the way, trips over a rock. She gets up limping and her curses have alerted any nearby creatures. Allendale rolls a 9 and gets out of the way. Jill manages a 7. Way to go! That's not bad given she has a -2 modifier to all of her stats. While picking their way through the rest of the rubble, Azag and Hesperina are more cautious than Jill and Allendale, who are racing ahead at the thought of all of that loot. Unfortunately, they didn't dream that the loot would be defended by 2 ghouls and a huge demon. At the sight of the temple denizens, Jill and Allendale start backing away. Let's wait for backup. Fortunately, we get the first activation. Jill moves back out of the way. The ghoul moves up and misses Allendale. The demon moves up and lashes out with its hooked and weighted chain at Allendale, who dodges out of the way. Allendale misses the ghoul 7 to 8 and puts his token back in the bag for an extra turn. Azag moves up and primal rages, while Allendale dodges another flailing attack with the hooked chain. The other ghoul is moving towards Hesperina at the other side. Round 2. Azag hits a ghoul 13 to 6. Azag gets hit by a ghoul 8 to 7, cancelling his primal rage. This is becoming a theme. Azag, annoyed by this, hits the ghoul 8 to 3. The demon lashes out with its chain and Azag dodges. Azag misses the demon 7 to 9, but his second attack is a double 6, so no defense allowed. Tired after that last performance, he then misses 5 to 12. The ghoul fighting Hesperina misses 4 to 10, and the demon gets the last 2 activations, 6 to 9 and 4 to 6, both of its attacks, with its rusty cleaver missing Azag. The demon misses Azag 3 to 8. That's its 3rd miss in a row. The ghoul misses Hesperina 7 to 9, but then hits her 7 to 5. She's down to 4 health. So Azag needs to finish this demon and then run back and help Hesperina finish off that last ghoul before she loses her remaining 4 health. Demon parries Azag's first attack 10 to 10. Azag then misses 7 to 13, but hits with his follow-up attack 8 to 3. The ghoul misses Hesperina 4 to 10. Azag hits the demon 9 to 8, then parries the demon 11 to 11, and then hits the demon 11 to 9. Hesperina parries the ghoul 3 to 3. Both of those fighters are not displaying much martial prowess. However, near enough is good enough. Azag misses the demon 6 to 10. The demon's down to its last 2 wounds. The demon misses Azag 8 to 10. Azag misses the demon 11 to 14 and 7 to 12. The ghoul misses Hesperina 4 to 6. The demon hits Azag 7 to 6. Azag returns the favour and hits the demon 10 to 8. It's down to its last wound. Nearly there. Azag hits the demon 10 to 8, taking its last wound. He then rushes over to Hesperina, who's still fighting the ghoul. Fortunately, the party get the next activation, and Azag races over, continuing his charge across the room, arrives behind the ghoul, and stabbing it in the back for a point of damage, 9 to 5. So Hesperina's got 3 health at this point, and the ghoul's got 2. The ghoul misses 4 to 7, but then hits 7 to 6. Azag misses the ghoul 5 to 7. The ghoul turns and attacks Azag, missing 7 to 9. I'd rather he's fighting Azag because Azag's got better defense and more health. The ghoul misses Azag 6 to 8, and then takes a swipe at Hesperina, and she just parries 4 to 4, getting a shield up in time. Azag hits 10 to 5 and 9 to 8, killing the ghoul. He then chops off its head before it has any chance of regenerating. The party are victorious. As usual, Allendale is the first to help with loot location and distribution. We get 20 gold. Hesperina identifies a silver ring as a ring of the arrow, which means you don't take penalties for shooting over low obstacles. Azag also gets 2 more skill points. When we get back to town, we get another 10 gold for bringing Hesperina safely back to her family. The party tried to track down Burke, but he has apparently left town. So we plot our next moves over a beer back in the Rusty Dagger. After 3 adventures, some things I have noticed about this game. With the emphasis on combat encounters and the fact that all rolls are made using brawn and swordsmanship, there's little incentive to construct your characters with a significantly different allocation of build points. Even the Necromancer is best built as a combat monster and gains no advantage from having a high arcane skill other than a slightly improved chance to detect which, determine magic items, something you might roll for once in adventure as opposed to, +2 swordsmanship, which you'll roll for dozens of times per adventure. Javelins are listed as a weapon that can be used both in melee and in range combat. You only get 3 shots with each javelin compared to 5 with the quiver arrows. However, the rules state that javelins do 2 points of damage. If the rules intended you to be able to use your javelin in melee, where it never runs out, and always do 2 damage, everybody would use javelins all the time. I'm choosing not to interpret the rules that way and have them only do 2 damage when thrown, which then makes them comparable to a bow. This is also because I don't want to have to paint up another model. I don't have a barbarian in, fur loincloth and Ugg boots wielding a javelin. These adventures also remind me a lot of Conan stories, so since I have access to all of those stories, including all of the ones written by L. Sprague de Camp and Bjorn Nyberg and others, I have started creating my own adventures inspired by the Conan stories. So expect to see more princesses rescued, battles with giant apes, monsters, and evil villains, all dispatched by heroic swordplay. I think getting kidnapped and taken to a foreign land is the overseas excursion in the Hyborian age. I'm not sure who will accompany Azag on the next adventure. The party is getting quite crowded, and I'm not really sure the adventuring life is for Jill. There isn't much for adventurers to spend their loot on. The main consumable is potions or arrows. I did notice that there is a potion of invulnerability which ignores the first wound. This will hopefully allow Azag to make more use of Primal Rage. The number of times when you spend a whole action getting Primal Rage only to promptly get stabbed by the person you're fighting and then lose Primal Rage, that's been kind of frustrating. So the ability to ignore the first wound you would have taken will allow me to keep going with that a bit longer. Azag's now moved up to level 3 and he's picking up the skill Heavy Blow. This takes 2 actions, but a successful hit will do 2 damage. Very useful when grinding out against a foe or other boss monster who's got a lot of wounds, because it potentially will halve the number of hits that you need to do to take them out. So we'll be back shortly. And here's a post-adventure scene of a whole bunch of people waiting for Azag to say, "Your next round's on me," back at the Rusty Tavern. So till next time.